7:20 your time, and we're back, and this is always a fun time on Friday afternoon.
We appreciate you saying
Friday
that.
morning, rather, when, why did I say Friday?
Look who decided to show up this week.
Me! Hey, it was either me, it was either you guys or the beach.
I walked in and I said, Dan didn't tell us he was leaving. They said, Dan didn't tell us he was leaving. I said he called us like 30 minutes ago and said, I'm going out somewhere else.
Well, when you have grandkids and they want to go to the beach and they invite you to go along, I think that's pretty high on my list of priorities.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I think I wouldn't understand because I'm so young that I don't have grandkids.
Well, I'm young, but I started early. Of course, we always talk about movies. And you can see that tight shot there. I guess what we're promoting today is Barefoot in the Park. We've got to get an explanation of why you guys are barefoot today.
All right. I don't need
we
to
never know what to expect when you
Daniel, I don't need to tell you that I just kind of ran in here a second ago, just before we went on there.
You got dressed except for the shoes. You just
I got up this morning, and the first thing I did was I got out of bed and I went, I don't want to go on TV today. The second thing I did was go out in the hallway and start to look for my clothes. Now, you may or may not know this, but I recently acquired a Great Dane puppy.
I didn't know that.
Well, I did. His name is Blue. He's not small.
Keyword there is puppy.
Puppy. Well, he's 10 weeks old, but he's about the size of a normal dog.
He's in the chewing stage.
So I went out to where my shoes were, and the puppy was sleeping very contentedly where my shoes normally are.
Shoes were in his stomach.
So I looked around and I realized it was either put shoes on or come here to be on the station. And so I'm a loyal person, right? I don't just take off to the beach when I'm supposed to be on air. So I got in the truck and I drove here with no shoes on. Hollywood Slinky is a good man and wasn't going to let me go through that.
Show of solidarity.
Right.
I'm so impressed, Ryan, that you also cast your shoes aside.
He did.
If you knew me at all, for real, you wouldn't be surprised.
That's true.
I'm a little hurt, actually, that you would be surprised by that.
He's a hero.
I tell you.
He really is.
Last week someone said to him, hey, let's go to the beach. And he goes, no.
I've got to be on Dan's
I'm
show.
going to be on Dan's show.
Even though Dan won't be there.
I said, because Dan wouldn't do that to me.
We got on here. You know, if you knew what happened while you were gone.
No, I don't know.
Joe took your spot.
Joe Palo.
Yeah, and he, was wearing this sort of what was it? Like a lounge singing.
It was kind of a monstrosity, really.
It's hard to even explain. It had flames on it. It was like part motorcycle, part Tom Jones. No undershirt.
None.
There was a lot of growth in this area.
Let's just say you could have recarpeted your den.
Wait a minute. I didn't have a shirt on because my shirt was black and you couldn't see through it.
Okay.
Ryan Faricelli's sitting there with a shirt on, no undershirt that you could see through. He doesn't say a word.
Listen, Ryan doesn't roll. Maybe Ryan doesn't roll with an undershirt, but at least he doesn't unbutton his shirt to his belly.
Oh,
Ryan is not 52 years old.
They can't even hear you, Palo. They don't even know what you're arguing about. Can you folks hear this?
well, what Joe was doing,
Can you hear this?
Joe was doing was he was showing off the new physique. He's lost 49 pounds.
He
in
has
the
lost
last
so much
45
weight.
days.
You know,
It's a pound a day.
Dan, you're looking so good, or Joe, you're looking so good at this point
You're wanting it.
that I would put you in my lap like that mannequin, right there. This mannequin over here. Come over here on this. Look at how much weight this guy has lost.
He's lost 40.
Look at this.
He's lost 49 pounds.
I didn't even feel that.
See, that's amazing. That's incredible.
Well, it was pretty painful here, so maybe you didn't feel it, but we sure did.
Well,
We better talk about movies
Lest
because
we
in 30
forget
seconds
why we're here.
they go,
we gotta
you're off
talk
there.
About movies. I will tell you that I did go to the movies last night.
What'd you see?
I went to see Zookeeper.
Yeah, you did.
Well, those talking monkeys really do it for you.
Well, it was funny. I did laugh out loud a couple of times.
And if you'll remember, we each gave it a hate, but Dan's going to like it.
It was amusing. I wouldn't say it was a great movie, but I needed some escape last night after work, and so I'm going to the movies.
Who escapes to the worst movie of the summer? Only Dan Howell says, man, I'm having a bad night. Let me go make this worse.
But it was a formula movie, you know, typical thing. The only thing odd about it was the monkeys did talk, and the lions and the elephants and the giraffes, they all talked. And he talked back to them, which was kind of weird. But it was a formula movie, but it made me laugh a few times. And me and 2 other people in the theater. But it wasn't bad.
I'm impressed that there were actually 2 other people.
Yeah,
all right.
It was.
Palo just gave us the 4.
Wow.
It means we have 2 minutes each for 2 movies.
Okay. So
First one up is The Change Up. We'll make this really simple. It's written by the guys who wrote The Hangover. It's directed
Right.
by the guy who directed The Wedding Crasher. It stars Ryan Reynolds and it stars Jason Bateman. So in summary, rated R comedy that everyone in Cleveland will find absolutely hilarious, but none of them should go see
None
it.
of them will go see
Correct.
it.
We each give this a very, very funny, but you probably don't want to go see it.
Rob's mic.
You don't want
is
to. You
falling
definitely
over.
don't want to be seen going in to see it in Cleveland.
Okay.
That-
but
you know, we've
'cause
talked about this
Because it's an
before.
R-rated movie.
Not because it's an
No,
R-rated
it's one of
movie,
those
because it's
R-rated
one of
raunchy
those R-rated movies.
Yeah.
One of those.
It's one of those R-rated
Don't admit
movies.
that you went to see it, but you can talk about it in the back room.
That's right.
Okay.
And the second one's the big one. The second one is Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, new James
I've been
Franco film.
Yeah, I've been seeing those trailers all over the TV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what I'm interested in finding out is if those monkeys are going to talk, because if they are, they're going to be right up your alley.
They're not going to be able to keep you away from that
gonna
movie,
be
are they?
great.
You plan on
be
camping
great.
out in front of the.
The trailers are interesting, and the special effects, that has to be computer generated.
This is supposed to be a prequel to all the Planet of the Apes movies. We haven't
Maybe.
figured out which ones.
Yeah.
But the basic idea is that James Franco plays a scientist who is coming up with a cure for Alzheimer's, and
his
it
dad
doesn't
has it.
quite work to cure Alzheimer's, but it does create an army of angry apes.
Who are
So it's
really
pretty
smart.
realistic. It's a lot more realistic than the Zookeeper.
Oh, you think?
You know, yeah, this is a lot more realistic. It actually looks pretty good. I'm going to give it a great. I think that it could be better. Like when I see the trailers, I see some things that make me think it's probably going to disappoint me a little. But on the whole, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to give it a great.
I'm also going to give it a grade. I think it looks a lot of fun. The special effects look phenomenal, and the guy who plays the main ape is a guy named Andy Serkis. He
Yeah.
played Gollum in the Lord of the Rings movies. He also played King Kong in the King Kong movie a few years ago.
yeah.
He's
And
phenomenal.
He's becoming very famous for doing motion capture work for
playing
creatures.
monkeys?
And
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
Absolutely.
And it's not dissimilar to your career here on this show. And the thing with Andy Serkis, though, is they're saying that he is an expert.
You notice how
What?
they just slip those
Was there,
fingers in? And
was there a joke? Did somebody say something funny?
Dance, Howell, dance!
It's this Dan Day. There you go.
So anyway, but this guy, they're saying that he could actually maybe get nominated for an Oscar for his work in this. That
He's
so
really
great.
that good.
Will he collect his Oscar in the
No,
monkey suit?
they will never give somebody an Oscar for motion capture work.
They won't.
No, they probably won't, but he deserves it.
He could
Honestly,
probably
you
get
could go to this
nominated.
film. You could go to this film just to watch him. He plays the main chimpanzee, and you know, even on the trailers, when you watch the trailers, everything looks relatively okay until you see the chimp, and then you go, "Wow, I really want to see that."
Yeah, and if you go online, you can see they've got some YouTube footage where they're showing the finished product of the ape next to him in his suit
right.
moving around, and it's phenomenal to watch how much emotion that he was.
He is a true artist. We talked about this last night on the podcast. He is a once-in-a-lifetime sort of an actor that comes along, specializing in what he does. And really, if for no other reason than just to see his performance, you should run out this weekend, go see Planet of the Apes. Or if you're Dan, I guess, go see Zookeeper. I don't even know they
No,
still
I'll
have
go see
that out.
Planet of the Apes. I'll do that.
All right.
I'll check that one out. We're out of time, guys. We can go on and
shucks,
talk about why you
unfortunate.
have no shoes and all kinds of things.
What was
but,
Lee Lanham on this show for this morning?
He was just filling time for me.
Yeah,
Before you got here?
We were just waiting on you guys.
Oh, really?
gotcha.
Can we get
No,
this?
Lee was
this-
telling us about the home run derby. He's a great guy.
Oh, that's good stuff.
We have to go.
Good stuff.
They
Oh.
just wave bye-bye at us. So just wave at the camera, guys. You know how to do this. Tell them bye.
Bye.
We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Don't forget the home run derby tomorrow at Tinsley Park at 7 o'clock. Bye-bye.